the provisions of the Constitution on the right to protest notwithstanding, Ruto is at war, not just with Azimio, but with the entire Kenyan population, especially those who do not support him. We appeal to our neighbors in the region not to join Ruto's war against Kenyans. Our neighbors must not supply Ruto with tear gas and ammunition to fight Kenyans. Our crime is only that we have challenged Ruto to bring down the cost of food, reconstitute the IEBC in a way that includes all players, also to audit the last year's presidential elections, and to respect political parties. As leaders, we have reached the decision that we shall fear not those who kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. So, even with the intimidation of withdrawal of security, Azimio confirms that the protests planned for Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday this week are on as earlier announced. We appeal to the police to be professional, to resist being turned into a killer squad for hire by politicians and a regime suffering acute legitimacy deficit. We appeal to our police to maintain their professionalism, that once again, that has been seen from some of its members who have participated in UN missions across the globe, with enhanced individual careers, and who have lifted the image of our country. We appeal to them to resist being used to provide cover to tribal militia that kills people in the name of policing. A time comes when all the crimes will be answered for by everyone involved, including Ruto himself. They need to think and think again before committing these crimes against citizens. We remind Ruto and the entire police service that responsibility for protection of Kenya is not a shared duty. Under our constitution, the duty bearer is the state and the law enforcement agencies. As protesters, what is required of us is just to give a notice that we'll be having a procession. We have given adequate notice. It is their duty to ensure that no criminal elements infiltrate the protests and turn them violent. And in our experience, it is the police who have turned peaceful protests violent. We take this opportunity to thank the UN Human Rights Office for calling out the government, the Ruto regime, over the use of excessive force by police to quell protests. Indeed, the use of force has been unnecessary and totally disproportionate, and has included use of firearms and shooting with an intention to kill, and actually killing. We have always appealed to our protesters to remain peaceful, and we ask them to continue doing so. We urge our people to obey the law, respect private property and even public property in the course of protests. We maintain that we have always been peaceful until police decide to import violence, bullets and tear gas into our protests. A couple of days ago, we were able to get into town, address Kenyans, and dispersed peacefully without any injuries or deaths. We were also able to have lunch and hold impromptu meeting with the people at Kenyatta Market, which also ended very peacefully. Because there were no police, all our engagements are peaceful until the police show up and unleash violence. We reiterate that we have instructed our lawyers to prepare and institute legal proceedings against police officers who have gone against their constitutional duty of protecting life and property of Kenyans during protests. In this regard, we are appealing to all Kenyans of goodwill who have photographic or video evidence of police brutalizing citizens to share the same with us to aid the case that our legal team is working on. We therefore further ask Kenyans to resort to citizen journalism and photography and to film state officers, including police and politicians, who in the course of duty abuse and brutalize Kenyans. We appeal to Kenyans to take very seriously the unfolding chain of events. A new dictatorship is slowly taking root through nepotism, corruption, use of force, getting rid of opponents, and suspension of the Constitution. We call on Kenyans to put on their old armor of courage and work to take their country back before this dictatorship takes firm roots. We encourage Kenyans to continue picketing, demonstrating, and protesting in their own ways, in their own local areas, as much as they can. Our voices must be heard. In Nairobi, we will have 3 convergence points: Joseph Kang'ethe grounds, Kamukuji grounds, Jacaranda grounds. Further, at midday tomorrow, we ask Kenyans to come out of their homes and bang sufurias, pots, and pans to signify lack of food. The sufuria movement kicks off tomorrow and continues until the battle is won. At that hour of midday, we also call on motorists to stop wherever they are on the highways and roads and to hoot and flash lights in support of this movement. We encourage Kenyans to continue appending their signatures against Ruto and Gachagua and the entire regime. We are pleased to announce this morning we have hit over 6 million signatures. Those are 6 million citizens fed up with the Ruto regime. Let's continue signing up at tumechoka.com, tumechoka.net, tumechoka.org. Let us meet in the Kamukunjis across Kenya tomorrow, on Thursday and Friday. Aluta continua.
Yes.
And before we sign off, apologies that our leader, the people's president, is not with us. He is in other engagements, critical engagements, and we spoke with him and we are going to report to him the progress so far. Asanteni sana.
Very good.
It's you.
You'd like to take some questions, maybe 2 or 3? You understand? Is there a mic? Please.
Even with
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
yeah.
My name is Irene from Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. The diplomatic community has just issued a statement asking you and the government to have a sit down. And this has brought together the high commissioners and ambassadors. Are you in for it? Or do we have alternatives to end this discussion because it seemingly affects a lot of Kenyans according to the statements?
Only one aspect. The destruction is by police, don't forget.
Yeah. We are aware that members of the diplomatic corps have asked for a meeting. And in fact, because I was given the responsibility to be the convener on our side. So what you have said is news, but what we need to reiterate is, of course, we can never say no to envoys who are accredited to our country when they want to meet up with the leadership. We will have to brief them accordingly. It's a briefing business. But it's the same envoys who are also bound by the resolutions of the UN Human Rights Center in Geneva, because all the representatives from their respective countries collectively issued that statement, highlighting the fact that it is the police who got out and killed our people. We had the very difficult mission of seeing some of the Kenyans who are killed. 3 bodies at Shalom Hospital. In fact, the names are there. There are now 4. And we know there'll be a burial in Kiminini, for example. One young man, Wanjala, be buried there on Friday. And Kakamega on Saturday. There'll be one young man who in Mali, and the problem that emanated in Mali because people saw this young man was going to join Egerton University, or Moi University, in September to do ICT. He came out with his mother and was killed in the presence of his mother. He had nothing to do with any demonstrations or just watching what the police were doing. He will also be buried. That young man's ambition in life was, because the mother is a single mother, to go study, get a university degree, come and put up a home for his mother. You can imagine, therefore, how shattered that single mother is in Mali. And as a result of that, people came out. And you can look at each of these cases where, as a result of the killer squad, the people we saw, all of them had bullet wounds. The ones who succumbed had them on the head, on the chest. But the majority of them were running away. Why kill people who are running away? Because the bullets were from the back. So these are some of the things that we will share with the envoys, and we expect them also not to be partisan in any way. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have one more? Yes. No, that is at our convenience. We have received their request, but we have also been talking to them because, like Martin Luther King once said, at the end of the day, we will not remember the harsh words of our friends, but the loud silence of our friends. They have been silent when people are getting killed here. Why would it take someone from Geneva to issue a statement that was issued, and they are here and they have not spoken? We will engage them at our convenience. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done.
Ni urenda kugita nyumba yaku na mabati ma gutura na ma uthaka wa kiriu horera riu tondu kambuni igatu ya Inooro Mabati Factory Limited iria yoikaine na wendia nguthi wa mabati ma gikiro kia iguru maria metiragia mbura nene na riua rihio twi haha ni undu waku. Endia hitu ni mohigiire wira-ini wao, koguo ni magutaraga na magakwenderia kuringana na muigana kana muhiano wa nyumba yaku, ukahuthia wira na ukahonokia mbeca. Wicagurire kuma kwi mithemba ngurani ta Jenga Tile, Europe Tile, Box Profile na mangi maingi. Oho ni monekaga na marangi ngurani na tugakurehera nginya o gwaku murango-ini gwa kahinda ka mathaa 24 tu. Tucerere Ruiru Town kana utuhurire thimu namba 0111 050 700. Inooro Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Just like COVID-19, pneumococcal pneumonia is a potentially serious respiratory disease. Do you know that if you're over 18 years and suffer from certain chronic diseases like diabetes, lung, kidney or heart disease, alcoholism or asthma, you are at risk? Or if you're immunocompromised due to a condition or use of certain medications or smoke cigarettes, you are at risk? Don't wait. Act now and get vaccinated.